everybody's time, I think we'll get started. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jenny Glessman, and I work with the Sage Hill Community Futures Office and the IBDS, Indigenous Business Development Services. We're excited to be back. We've took the summer off, and I hate to say summer's done, but unfortunately, fortunately, next week is fall, and with that, we're back. We hold sessions twice a month, and we thought it was a really good way to start. Back and talking about one of my favorite times of year is that, shopping and the holiday season and stuff. Before we get started with that, I'm just going to, as we gather here today, we acknowledge we are on Treaty 6 territory and the homeland of the Métis. We pay our respects to the First Nation and Métis ancestors of this place, and we reaffirm our relationship with one another. Like I said, on behalf of Sage Hill and IBDS, welcome. For those that don't know, Sage Hill Community Futures, we're part of 13 different offices across the province. We're split into regions, and we offer loans, advice, and support to small business owners and community groups. And the IBDS, we hold that contract for across the province, and we do the same thing. We do business planning, helping getting businesses started. And one of the ways we do that is through our workshop series. And like I said, I'm excited to talk about the holiday season. And I'm going to tell you a little bit. I'm crazy about Christmas. My husband calls me the crazy Christmas lady. So this is right up my alley of finding out how we can get more shopping going on in our communities. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Josie. I'm going to let you introduce yourself and we'll get started. I did mention to everybody, please put where you're from and your organization or your business in the chat. That way it helps Josie so she can see where everybody's from. And don't be scared to put questions in the chat. There'll be some time for some, questions and answering at the end. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Josie.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Jenny. Hi, everybody. My name is Josie Lachant. I am super happy to be here today talking about something that I am also passionate about. I am very passionate about tourism and supporting your community. And I'm really excited to talk about this. I have been in the tourism industry for quite a while now, and I'm also on the Chamber of Commerce board here in my area, which is Rostern. This webinar came at a perfect time for me because we just got back from about a week and a half long adventure. We were touring around in BC and Alberta, and that's always a good way to really test out some of my theories. But it's also great to see how other people do things and what other organizations are doing, what other communities are doing, other chambers are doing. And it's really cool to see everybody working together. So I'm going to share my screen here and go through a presentation that I have. At any point in time, please just ask questions. I love questions. If you have an idea or a comment, please just go ahead, either add it in the chat or unmute yourself, and I'm happy to discuss if you have any sort of ideas or comments. And yeah, so with that, I'm just going to here. Second. Okay. Just going to present right. Yeah, there we go. Okay.
Yep, we can see it.
Great. Okay. So I just want to sort of preface this with saying that it is attracting holiday shoppers to your community. That's kind of the goal of this webinar. You can I think all of this sort of applies to either businesses who are planning something or just gearing up for the holiday season, or organizations who are maybe teaming up to plan an event together. I think that all of this is sort of interchangeable depending on your organization. So yeah, I'm just going to, here we go. move over. So yeah, I kind of talked about me a little bit here. I've been in the tourism industry for a while, and it's one of my passions. Um, I just got back from a little trip, and my favorite thing to do was go and go into the downtowns of all the places we were visiting and ask people about what we should do and where we should go. And we found some really cool, unique, hidden gems that way. And yeah, so really fun. Anyways, I'm happy to be here. And yeah, there's going to be a couple topics that we'll try to cover today. And one of them is your online presence and how that matters when it comes to attracting holiday shoppers. We'll also chat about how you can stand out, making your business or your event stand out to people and attract them in. Sort of ways to create engaging customer experiences, we'll also chat about. And we'll just talk about promoting yourself and your community in general. So those are sort of the areas that I want to focus on today. And I'm going to start it off with your online presence. And this is a huge part of attracting holiday shoppers or anybody to your community, making it so that people can see what your business has to offer or your community has to offer online. This is how most people are finding their information now. And how can we do that without sort of overextending ourselves if it's not something that we're super comfortable with, or you know, yeah. So there are many ways we can be active online that will help our business and our community thrive. And here are some of the main areas I think that you could really focus on this season when we are looking at sort of getting people into your community or into your store. So we'll talk about your Google page. We all do it when we're going somewhere, or you know, we're googling and we're looking it up, but we're also looking at the reviews, and especially in the hospitality industry, you know, for a place to eat or a place to shop, place to stay, and we're kind of looking at the pages that are on Google, and we're kind of looking at the reviews. So something to consider is, what is the status of your Google page, and if you've looked that up. And I'm happy to do a little audit for anybody who wants to volunteer today. We can pop up your Google page and see what it looks like if you want. The next thing is your social media. This is the primary way businesses and customers are connecting. So how are you connecting with your customers? And then the last thing I want to talk about with online presence is, if you are creating an event, creating an event page on Facebook, and that can be super helpful. It's a free way to advertise your event. And even if it's just something simple like late night shopping at your business, that's something you can easily create an event to create a little bit more buzz around, get people talking, post more specific information in that event page, and kind of keep that event page moving and posting in there versus on your main page. And all the way to, like, if you're doing like a large scale holiday event, like a big holiday market or big holiday community event, Facebook event page can be a great way to help you out. So, oh, go ahead.
We do have somebody that's volunteered if you want to do a Google search
yes,
wherever. So we do have a volunteer in the chat.
Okay, sounds good. So these are some examples that I'm going to just show you guys about just with Google page. These ones are ones that I found to be pretty updated. So I'm going to click over here. It's going to bring me over to Sage Hill. And so when I say Google page, this is sort of what I'm referring to here. Can everybody see the screen? It's the Sage Hill Community Futures. It's their Google page, and you can see they've got some photos on here. They've got the pin on the map where they're located. They've got a link to their website. They've got a link to call them, and again, all their information. So we're going through this. It's pretty complete. You can see here they had some, I don't know if these were tickets potentially, for, or signups or event pages.
There are some of our loan products.
Okay. And then if you keep going down, they don't have any reviews yet, but then they have their write up here about what Sage Hill is. And they also have all their social profiles linked. So this one is a pretty complete Google page, and that's great to see because sometimes a lot of the Google pages are not complete. They don't have a lot of, they're missing information. So that's great. Way to go, Sage Hill. I'm also choosing Youth Farm Corn Maze. This is a popular one in my area. It's a farm. They've got everything to do there. You could spend the entire afternoon. So it's a big attraction for our community. You can see here, they've got a photo, they've got where they're located. They've got almost 5 stars on here, which is amazing. And again, going through all the motions, you can see everything is complete. And if I click this little arrow here, you can see exactly what days they're open and what days they're closed. So they have definitely updated this as it is a summer fall business. So keep going down, you can kind of see again, they've got their write-up, they've got their social profiles on there, and they've got Google reviews in there. And my favorite thing is when you look at the Google reviews, you can see people have actually added in their photos. Which for me, if I'm coming from out of town, if I've never been here before, if I'm looking for a certain type of experience, these reviews really help me to see like what it is all offered here. So yeah, that's really great. Another full, complete Google profile. And then I have one more here. And this is just a little pottery shack that is near Defoe. It is kind of on your way to Yorkton. Let me make sure I have that correct.
Yes, you do. It's on my way when I
Okay.
used to go to my grandparents.
Okay.
I know exactly
Okay.
where it is.
Okay, I was like, I'm pretty sure this is on your way to Yorkton.
Yeah, it's before Wynyard, in between Defoe and Wynyard. It's right along the side of the highway there.
Yes, yeah. So anyways, this is also a little tourist attraction. I don't know if it's open all year round. It's open all the time. You can go in there. It's a really cute shack. I have a little bit more information on this actually a little bit later in my slideshow. But anyways, you can see here again, this is a full Google listing. So she even has the other products you can buy, things right directly on her website. And yeah, really full profile. So it's great to see people utilizing that. And I'm just looking here. I would love to see my Google page. Okay, second story clothing.
We got a couple that have volunteered.
Okay, let's go for it. So I'm going to type it in here. All right, so this is what pops up for me here. We've got the pin on the map. So let's see exactly where you're located. Oh, yes, just west of Estevan. Okay, so that's great. So that's on there. That's accurate. And you've got your phone number. You've got a link to your website. You've got reviews on here. So these reviews are through Facebook, so not through Google, but because they're linked, they can show up in here too. I would encourage you to ask people to leave you a review on Google as well. But yeah, you have a little write up here, which could probably be expanded a little bit, but you also have your website so people can go there to find more information. Yeah, that looks great. Just missing a couple of things, but looks like missing hours and yeah, not too much. It looks good. I'm assuming the link to the website works. Yeah, perfect. Is that your website? Is that correct?
Yes, it is. For the hours when you're an online based business more than anything else, I at one time had put like open all the time.
Yeah.
But And they were like, no, you can't be. So
Oh.
I didn't know really what to put, like appointment only.
Yeah.
I
No,
don't know.
I understand. I don't think it's necessary. The only thing is that it's just showing up for me as ad missing information. So I don't, you could put appointment only, or maybe even in your description, maybe you add in there that it's an online based quilt shop, so that people know that it's not necessarily
Yeah.
like a physical shop that they're going to. But I think if they went to your website, they would probably figure that out pretty quick.
And so for Google reviews, the best way is to ask people to go on and put on a review.
Yeah, so what you can do as far as asking people for Google reviews, there's a couple different things. I'm going to touch on them after this. So we can talk about that there. I'm going to give Gray Barn Handwork. Let's check this one out. All right, so great. Yeah, again, same, you have your location in there, so I know exactly where you're located. On the other, not near the quilt shop, so all the way over closer to me, Gray Barn Handwork. Okay, and let's see.
Closer to us, kind of
Yeah,
Munster,
yeah.
St. Gregor, that way.
Are they technically in your
They're in our
region?
region. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Lorianne's in our region.
Okay, so oops. Yeah, and again, you've got your hours in here. You had some reviews up here, I see. Let's check those out. Yeah, it's great to see reviews. And I also love when I see the owner responding right here. Just acknowledging the comment. I think that's always great. Yeah, and you've got your social profiles here. So again, it's you're findable. All your information is in there, and that's correct. There was a couple instances on our last adventure here over the past couple of weeks where we were driving by somewhere, the sign wasn't didn't look like it was open. I looked online, I couldn't tell. And we ended up finding out later on that they were actually open, but it didn't really look like it. And so I think it's really important to have these done. And yes, I see Dana has a I have an online shop. Can you have a Google profile without a location? I believe you can. I think you might just have to put in like I don't know whether it's like your home location though, or even just your yeah, I don't think they've made it so you can just put in any location. So you might have to use like your home location, maybe Gray Barn or the quilt shop. Do you guys have your homes as the location? Since you don't have physical,
Yes.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, so
Lorianne said
you
yes.
can, okay, so you can definitely go that route if you want, and then just state that you're only an online business. And you can create a Google profile through just going to Google and creating a business profile. Pretty straightforward. And yeah, you might just have to use your coordinates, I think. I'm just looking here, Gray Barn. You can see here they have their longitude and latitude.
Because she's rural. Lorianne's rural as well. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So anyways, flip back over here. So definitely utilize your business page. It just helps to make sure that the consumer knows that you're open, that what your business hours are, what you offer. It's pretty straightforward, especially for those who don't have a website or a storefront. It can be helpful. Respond to your reviews and try to update it as much as you can. So if you are someone who has seasonal hours, that's something to consider. As far as asking for reviews go, what we've done for our business is we've added it to our invoices and put it right at the bottom of the invoice in the footer. So saying, thanks for your business. Please leave us a review on Google. I've seen businesses put it at the end of their receipts, saying leave us a review on Google, sorry. And you can also print out sort of like a barcode, so people can scan it and leave you a review. So if you're a physical business, say your coffee shop or something of that nature, and someone's waiting for their order, they can stand. They're standing there. They're maybe most likely on their phone anyways. It's really easy for people to scan and then leave a review. I've done that quite a few times, just waiting. I've just scanned the barcode and put on a review. Another way that can be really helpful to get those reviews in from customers is to run either in-store contest or a social media contest. So I find these can be more helpful than just a regular social media contest, or like and share type of thing. But the way people would get entered to win, say maybe it's a gift card to your shop or like store credit or something, they can leave a review on Google and then basically screenshot it and send it to you. Or you can just basically grab all the names from Google, enter them in to win the prize. This is a great way to get reviews, and I've seen quite a few businesses do it that way. We have stores here in our community that we shop at quite often that I honestly have never thought of giving a review to until they have run a contest of some type. And so now that's also something that I'm in the habit of, is just making sure that I, when we do get home from a trip where we've maybe visited some cool new places, I try to leave them a little Google review. Anyways, lots of stuff you can do with Google, but those, I think, just keeping your page updated so people know that you're open, and where to find you, what you offer, and making it easy for people to leave you a review is good too. These are sort of like an example of what people have up in their business. I think you can order these signs, but you could also just print something that says, hey, leave us a review. One store I was at recently said, if you leave us a review right now, we'll give you 10% off your order. And so, there's different ways that you can do it for sure. Oops. So going over into social media now, the question is always Facebook or Instagram or both, and I'm not sure what everybody has here, what your preference is. I think it's, about who you're wanting to reach and what is the purpose of your social media. Is it for sales? Do you have everything set up, on your back end for sales online? Or is it just to connect with people? And who are you looking to connect with? So having a clear foundation when building your content is really key. Like, what is your intention? Who are you wanting to reach? How can you speak to them specifically? Do you post things that are, intentional for who you are wanting to reach? Sometimes if we're just wanting to, it's not necessarily always about selling. Sometimes just connecting with people. I like seeing when you can have conversations with people in the comments, like a grocery store posting about, oh, hey, we have our all of our canning supplies in, come and pick them up, share your favorite canning recipe in the comments, and then just seeing people talk about their canning recipes or their canning journey, or maybe, it's cool to see people connecting like that. So yeah, basically creating that authentic interaction with our customers, and how we can engage with them through the comments, utilize our stories and all the different features. So don't just post and walk away. Stories are a really good one if you're wanting to engage with people, and posting multiple, like say on Instagram, for example, they have the carousel. So you can post, I think even most pages now, up to 20 photos. So you can post a lot of photos. You can make a reel You can use the stories. There's different ways that you can interact with people. To keep it consistent on your social media by posting in your stories. If you do it every day, it's going to stay relevant and it's going to show up sort of at the front of everybody's Instagram stories. So if you and Facebook stories. So if you ever see at the top, right, all the little circles on Facebook and Instagram, the ones who usually post the most or and you watch the most will kind of always get pushed up to the front. So posting in your story, just little things, letting people in, showing them what you're doing in your store, maybe new things that you've got in, your customers that came in for the day. There's so many ways that you can do it and have fun with it. And I think that stories are meant to be interactive, and they get the best sort of engagement when they are sort of authentic and you are interacting, and showing people sort of the side that you wouldn't show them maybe in other ways. Also, if you take a couple 5 to 10 second long videos and string them together with music, you can create a reel. And if you post your name of the store and your location on the reel itself, like not in the description, but on the reel, then when people are swiping through the reels and watching the reels, it'll show up right on the video, like, hey, this is in Estevan, Saskatchewan. And I think that's a really cool way for people to sort of to put your community on the map or your store on the map. So something to consider as well. When it comes to the holiday season, I feel like there is a lot more posting and lots more things happening online. And so sometimes paying for a small ad on Facebook to promote your store or your event can go a long way. A lot of the ads are, it's whatever you want to spend, but even if you spend around $20, $25, that ad will actually go quite further than you think. You also can select your target audience. So you can select age, gender, you can select the area. So I can say, if I have a storefront where people are coming in and maybe they can't buy stuff online, well, I can specifically advertise to people within 80-kilometer radius, people that are more likely to come to my store here. And so I think that those are really cool features, and not too difficult to put together that ad either. So you could you can make the post on Facebook, post it, and then just promote the post. And I think that's a good way to promote yourself this holiday season for a minimal amount of money. While we're on the social media train here, so here are some ideas for content, just to give you some like a different perspective, maybe get your creative cap going. But I always find planning out your content in advance. Oops, I did not finish that sentence there. Planning out your content in advance allows you the opportunity to be set up for a successful holiday season. So if you in October are thinking about your content, and you schedule it for November and plan it for December, then you don't have to worry about that as much through the holiday season. You already know now, as business owners, or if we're planning an event for the holiday season, we're most likely already buying stock for our store, or putting plans into motion, or we have a date saved, so we can start putting together some things for our social media so that we are not left scrambling, posting them kind of like the day before or just the day of, posting things and feeling kind of scrambled. This way it allows you some more thought out content. Consider unique posts. So like featuring, say you have a potter, maybe you want to feature them, where they're from, who they are, what they're making, how long they've been doing it for, or any type of vendor that you have, something that kind of showcases the cool things that you have. you could have a customer or maybe even a staff member just take over the Instagram stories and showcase your store or your shop in a new light. Share what your neighboring businesses are up to and how they can be supported. I always think it's really cool seeing businesses working together. So if you have a business that's next to you or in your community, maybe just sharing what they're up to. And that could just be as simple as sharing something that they've already posted. So it just kind of helps to keep your business a little bit relevant during the holiday season. And yeah, it's great to see businesses supporting one another in the community. So yeah, showcasing a variety of gift ideas at different values or for different people. You can also do posts of staff member Lisa's favorite item from the store, or maybe if your mayor comes into the store often, you can say, hey, my mayor or our mayor always gets this when he comes in, or he thinks this would be a good gift idea. Or if you have someone like that comes in, it's just a way for you to engage with your customers in person, but then also online, seeing everybody saying, oh, I didn't know the mayor liked to drink that type of coffee, or that he, whatever it is. And ask questions and allow for interactions between customers in the comments. And I think that those are some basic ideas for where to get started this season. And if you start doing a little bit of the planning now, then it won't be a stress to you later on, especially since we probably, like I said, already know what you're kind of going to be offering this season. Of things that you might already know that you can post on social media, like if you're an online business, you already know maybe like 2 weeks before Christmas, that's the last shipping day. So you can kind of already plan out some of that stuff that you can post or schedule up, so you don't have to do it on the day of in the busy season. Okay, keeping going here. So if you're having an event, like we talked about, creating an event page on Facebook can be super helpful. If you add all the details in, include photos, times, dates, locations, if there's giveaway prizes, any sort of unique thing that you're doing. And then you go and you make the event page live, and it'll share to your page. Other people will start to share it. And once people start to say going or interested on the event page, it actually starts sharing that to their friends. So if I said that I'm going to a late night shopping Christmas event, my friends will see that. And then maybe they'll look at the event, and then hopefully they'll say that they're interested or going, and kind of so on and so forth. So an event page is a really helpful tool for marketing your event. And you can keep it updated. So it's not like you have to just keep re-updating the post. You can just go into the event page and say, hey, now we've teamed up with so-and-so and they're going to do this part. And you can have other people posting in that event page too. So the event page basically means that everybody can contribute to marketing the event. It's not all on one person. So if you're doing an event with multiple people, organizations, everybody can be co-hosts of the event and add in their own stuff. And you can do countdowns, like, 5 days away, 4 days away, 3 days, just to keep it on people's minds. And everybody who's going or has marked going on the event page will get a notification or see that there's new things happening there. It's nice when all the information is in one place. It makes it easier for your community to know what's going on. And it's a way for the community to connect as well. Like, hey, I saw you're going to that event and I wanted to go too. So let's go together, and let's see if so-and-so wants to go together. So it's kind of more of like it can be more of an organic style of marketing. So I highly recommend event pages. I find they worked really well for me in the past for all of the events that we've done with the chamber and other tourism agencies. So definitely something that can be done. Yeah. Does anybody, I feel like I'm going really fast, but does anybody have any questions about the sort of online presence?
Nothing in there. I
Okay.
think I do. Okay, we have
Yeah.
we have our Christmas on Main, and we have
Yes.
a Facebook page. Like we've set up a Facebook page, and we
Oh,
put
right.
everything
Yes.
on there. But you're saying to also have an event on that page. We would create an event on that page.
Yeah. So if you create an event, the thing is that it will go further than your actual Facebook page. It will reach more people,
Okay.
guaranteed. And I think it's a kind of easier because it gives people a thing to do. No, sorry, not a thing to do. That was my next thing. Um, it gives they can say that they're going. It gives them a reminder, but also other people see that. But then when you go into Facebook and there's like an events place on Facebook, or you type in, events near me, that will pop up. So it's like, does that make sense?
Yes. No, that's great.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, no problem. Just definitely it can be helpful, and I don't find it to be that much more work. So yeah, moving on. So talking about ways to stand out, and I do think that simple things do make a bigger impact than we realize. Um, Giving the example here of just drawing on the windows for the season. Um, Not only does it make it feel festive inside, but it adds to like the feeling outside. Um, Making the sort of like Hallmark style town, if you will. It's great to see people decorate their windows or put little Christmas trees out or wreaths on their door, just sort of adding to that feel that it is Christmas. Um, oh, my sandwich board didn't show up on here. So sandwich boards located outside your store can be really helpful to entice people coming in. I had a photo on here and it's gone, but it was our store here in town. It said, "Do you need to treat yourself?" and said yes or no. But then if it says yes, come in, and it says no, come in anyways. And I always laugh at that, and it makes me kind of go inside because their sandwich boards are really interactive, and I think that that's fun. And entices people in. It shows that you're open. It kind of just shows life outside your store. A little pop of color if your sandwich board is colorful. Again, decorating your store for the season, which we just talked about. And decorating your windows with chalk paint. If you're not an expert painter, you can ask a friend or a colleague to help you, or maybe you have a kid that's really creative and talented, or someone that you know that can help you out. It doesn't even have to be anything simple. It could just be, happy holidays and a Christmas tree. Just something to show a little bit of extra life in your store at this time, and adding to the ambience of your main street or wherever your storefront is located. These are photos here from a couple of our local businesses in town from last Christmas. There's we created a late night shopping experience as a whole community, but even as a business, if you create a late night shopping experience, and just have people come in, and maybe you have free hot chocolate or apple cider or something, and you have Christmas music playing, and it's just a little bit more of an intimate evening. It's giving people a chance to come into your store outside of the regular hours, and especially for people who work maybe out of the community. It's a good opportunity for them to come in and support you on an evening when they wouldn't have otherwise been able to. And people are always looking for things to do, I think, on the evenings in the holiday season. I love going and shopping with my friends on a holiday evening. That's like a pretty common thing, I think, to do. So just creating that experience. I call up a friend, "Hey, we're gonna go check out this shop. It's open late." And then maybe go somewhere after. So we're supporting two local businesses in the mix of it. Um, you could bring in a vendor or a special guest, whether that's your potter or someone that sells baking, live music, or someone that's doing like a holiday offering. Maybe they're doing like a little kids activity, um, that type of thing. You could also provide a mini service, which I think is a really cool thing to do. I've seen this a couple times now, where I've been at markets or an event, and a spa we'll use that example. We'll give like a 5-minute facial. So it's a free thing. You go and you get a 5-minute facial at the market or at this sort of event that you're at. And you have sort of like all of your information there for booking or buying gift cards or whatever it is. And that's just a cool way to enhance an event. So maybe you have someone in your community that provides that type of service, and you're planning a late night shopping experience, and you can kind of see where I'm going with that. So working together with other businesses in your community. Having unique things to entertain kids, I mean, and adults too, but is always really fun. I think it makes the experience for everybody, especially those with kids. It allows parents to shop, but then kind of gives the kids something to do. Lots of places now, it's great to see that they have little, even just like coloring table that's for kids, just something for the kids to kind of do while the parents shop around. Ways for your guests to leave their mark. This is here at our train station on the back deck on their patio. They have the little interactive chalkboard, and it's cool when you can see that where people are coming from. It's a conversation starter with your group. And I've seen other ones like in stores in the holiday season where it says, hey, what are you thankful for this holiday season? And you can see on the board all of these different reasons, and it's really cool, or your favorite holiday tradition, but something to kind of amplify the experience, enticing people to come into your store. It's again, just rounding out the experience for everyone. Working together with neighboring businesses. So kind of touched on this a little bit, but it's great for consumers to see local businesses working together. And how can you work with your neighbor this holiday season? So something to think about when you're planning your holiday activities. Yeah, see, some of my photos are just not working for me today. But I'll touch on this a little bit. The Freeba pottery experience. I went there this summer. I've always wanted to go because I see all my friends and all these people posting, the Saskatchewander posting about this pottery shop. And I love pottery. It's one of my favorite things. I always give it as a gift for weddings. And we were actually on our way to a wedding in Melville. And so we went and we stopped here at the pottery shack, and it was really cool. The picture that was here, right here, it was the back of her pottery shop, and it was all painted really cool, really unique. It made, you wanted to take a picture out front and you want to post it. It looks really cool. My photos. I'm so sorry, guys. And on here, the photo that was here was a map, and you could pin on your location where you were from. And so that was just like another way to have like an interactive experience. She made it really easy to purchase things where you just took it off the shelf, wrapped it yourself, sent her an e-transfer, wrote it in the book, and that was it. And it was really cute, and definitely Instagrammable. So that's just kind of one experience to kind of touch on. She has made me want to go to that area, that little pottery shack off the highway. It has made me want to go to that area for so long. And so how can you as a business, if you are in that area, how can you kind of capitalize on that and draw people in that are coming for these specific tourist attractions?
There's a comment in the chat. I had a greenhouse previously and did a bingo card scavenger hunt for the kids in the spring. It was a great hit. I love that idea.
So
I might have to use that one.
I was going to say, yeah, Jenny, you should. That is such a good idea. I think that it's often overlooked, and I myself probably would have overlooked those things as well until I had kids. And then it makes it so much easier when you go into a store and there's a little space. I'm more likely to buy something because I now have the time to look around at while my kid is coloring or reading a book. And it's the simplest things. It's coloring sheets and a book in a new store. even if it's on the floor with like some pillows, it's it's definitely helpful, and it helps to create a fun experience for kids and parents. Um, so promoting yourself and your community. These are just some things that I had written down, and they're kind of in no real order, but basically working together with your community to create an experience for people. How can you work with your neighbor or your local chamber or other community leaders to create attractive community events? So it's not even about it's not always about bringing people in from outside of your community, but how can you make sure the people in your community continue to support you, and giving them the opportunity to come out, especially during the holiday season, trying to, make them come down into your shop and buy the gifts there, giving them that opportunity versus them, maybe just going to Amazon. Boasting about your community. So when you have new people come into your town or into your shop that are from out of town, I always love asking, hey, like, where are you guys from? Have you been to, this place over here? Or if you have time, make sure you stop by this place before heading out of town. You won't regret it. It's great to have those people within our stores advocating for all the other little places, whether it's a museum or an art gallery or another local store that they can go hit up before they leave town. Telling your customers about future events. So don't be afraid to invite people back for more. Hey, I know you're here now, but in a couple weeks, we're having this really cool event. Maybe you guys want to come back for that. It's going to be so much fun. If you're having a market, whether that's like a street fair or like an indoor market, consider having something like market bucks. I seen this at a market and I thought it was really cool. I was in Kelowna and they were talking about how a lot of their vendors don't accept cards and we're losing sales because they didn't accept cards. So they implemented market bucks, and you could go to the Kelowna Farmers Market booth and buy your market bucks, and then basically that's equal to cash. The vendor just trades it in at the end of the day. I thought that was a really cool way to sort of include those vendors who maybe just are popping up for a couple months or maybe one event or two events, and don't need to pay for like the square terminal. And so anyway, some cool little ideas there. And how can you look at your space and your community from a different perspective? Are there underutilized areas that you have access to that would help to create a unique holiday experience? Are there ways to enhance these already existing spaces? When we have new people come to our community, or like when I have friends coming over or something, I always say, hey, let's go for a drive, or if you guys are coming to town, you guys should drive in this way. And then I always sort of ask them questions like, hey, what did you notice? Or they'll be the first person to point out, hey, this is new, or this looks really cool. And oftentimes it's always things that I would have not thought of, because I'm so used to seeing them. I love our neighboring town in Waltheim. They do a light up the park event, and basically all the businesses, I believe how it works is all the businesses buy, they pick a tree and they decorate it, and the whole park, basically all the trees are lit up. And I think they had this in mind when they started planning the park, and they have like the power there and all the trees. And so something to think of for future events. How can you coordinate, or how can you kind of include those things as well? So an example from within my community that I was involved with is our annual late night shopping and tree lighting festival. And so this event here, I tried to throw in a couple pictures just to give you an idea. It happened on a Thursday evening. It was beautiful. We had the big tree. We had it lit. We had carolers out. We had Santa come. There was live music. There was a gingerbread house exhibit. There was an indoor story walk that the library put on. We had the rec hockey team come and hand out Christmas colored themed sprinkled donuts. We had a late night shopping basket that was a chamber initiative that all the businesses put in a gift card or an item. And if you just came to the tree lighting event, you could enter your name in. There was a little photography session. There was a fire. It was really cool atmosphere. We had about 250 people out that evening, and it was really successful. The businesses were full. There was markets happening in a couple of the other little spaces that were kind of emptier. There was vendors in there, which was really cool. And it was great to see all of these organizations taking an initiative to put on an event for the community. The other cool thing was a lot of the people that came were from other communities. And so that's something that was really cool to see. I just want to go over to Jenny for a second, because something similar to the late night shopping and tree lighting festival is what Bruno does, and they do this thing called Christmas on Main, and Jenny's involved in that. Jenny, do you want to give a little
Sure.
blurb?
Well, it started a number of years ago with a dream of mine and another lady that we had businesses on Main Street. It was when my husband and I owned the lumber yard. And when we started, I said, well, we got to do something. Our Main Street looked so tired at Christmas time. So 4 of us business owners got together and we thought we were just going to have a tree lighting. But it ended up we light the whole park. There's a Pioneer Park on Main Street, and we actually sat down and made a list of all the businesses in town and in the area. We were shocked when we were done because we looked at all the home-based businesses, all the like in town and out of town. I think we had like 60 some names on the list, which blew us all away. And we sent a letter to them all, and I would say 3/4 of them gave us money. And we also sent a letter out to everybody in town and said, do you have used Christmas lights you don't want to use? So we went from having a tree to lighting the whole park. I think we're on year 7, and every year people give donations and we just keep adding. And the whole theme of the park is the North Pole. And in our park, there's an old jail, which we turn into Santa's workshop. We light a big tree. We've got all the characters. And then our business, the lumber yard, we turn it into a big Santa's, like the reindeer. I have a greenhouse, so I turn the greenhouse into the reindeer stable. We decorate the whole lumber yard, and we kind of go down the street, and it's become this huge. And I think we light the tree in the park one night. We have carolers, hot chocolate, different groups come out and do different things. The hockey team comes and serves the hot chocolate and that. And we light the park. And I think last year we probably had 350 people on Main Street of Bruno, and it just keeps growing. And people keep making donations, and it starts our Christmas season, and it just adds something to our Main Street. And all Christmas season, the number of families that get their pictures taken in the park, or you see families wandering through, it just gives our whole community from a blah Main Street to this exciting place that everybody wants to go at Christmas. So that's us.
That's incredible. And I think too, talking about using those underutilized spaces. So you said turning the old jail into the Santa's workshop, like those little things that make it unique. You can see here in this slide behind the hockey team, this is actually the grocery store, and the art gallery down the way, they asked if they could take over that space and make it like a little satellite gallery to help them advertise, to get people to come down the street. And so they worked collaboratively on that. And so the Station Arts Center now decorates that space, and it's really cool because it's always really light and bright. It's always really bright at nighttime. But they made it all festive, and we just did little things. Yeah, like they ran a little gingerbread challenge and it was really cool to see people coming out from outside the community to come and support the businesses, to support our event. And it was lots of fun. So I think that partnering with your local businesses, your municipality, your chamber, your whatever it is that you have in your community. You know, those kind of we have the Lions Club here as well. They're really active. So we try to all get together and trying to plan the events together instead of individually, and that makes a huge difference. Our energy goes further. The event is more successful because we're not, stretching ourselves thin because we're all taking a part, having a hand in these events. And so, as business owners, it's great when we see them having their business fronts decorated and them getting involved in the activities and seeing the hockey teams come out and stuff. It really brings that small town charm to life, and it makes me feel like we live in a Hallmark movie sometimes. And so yeah, it's okay if that's your goal, like, because I think it allows us to add to make these events bigger. If you're thinking about Hallmark, they have all these little things everywhere just to add into the Christmas spirit, and makes it a lot of fun. So we're pretty much at the end of the time. I've talked so much. I don't know if anybody has any more questions that they want to bring up.
Does anyone, if you want, feel free to unmute and ask away.
Even if someone has an event that they've done or something that has been successful for them that they want to share, that might give some inspiration to others, feel free.
I know one thing we did last year, because we were volunteer short. I'll be honest. And I think that's an issue in a lot of our communities. Was we actually we approached the school and the hockey teams, because our hockey teams had took part in a camp, and they were asked to put in some volunteer time. So we got one of the hockey teams, but now I think we have a list of the teams that want to come help next year, just they need to do some volunteer work, and they thought it was a great project. So sometimes if you're short on volunteers for some of these, check with the school, check with your teams, because lots of them are wanting to do some volunteer hour. And young legs and arms, and they were really willing to be wholehearted involved, and we found it was a great help.
Yeah, that's a really good point. We also utilize our dance clubs. We have 2 dance clubs here. The hockey teams are great. We have two. We have a junior college and then the high school, and we're always reaching out to them, letting them know volunteer opportunities, and they're always so helpful. And that's great because they need the volunteer hours, and it's great to see those kids involved and helping make these things successful too. So yeah.
With that,
All
I
right.
don't think, I'm just quickly looking at the chat. The only one I see, can you make your own creation, or is it just for purchasing? I'm not sure if we were talking about when you were talking about the pottery place, maybe.
Oh yeah,
That is correct.
no, you.
Did I guess right? Okay.
Yes, good job.
You know what? I'm not sure if it's them or not, but somewhere, they offer like pottery workshops and classes. So I don't think that they do. Like, I couldn't do that there while I was there. But I know, I wish I could remember. I thought it was somewhere near there, but it's really cool. You can go in and she has lots of pottery available, and it was just cool. I don't know, it's one of those things that, do you stop? You're on the highway, and if you're with your husband, or I was with my dad, and it was, we're making miles, and we're, but I was like, no, we're stopping here. This is really cool. And we had a really good, experience there, and we ate our lunch outside. So it worked out really good. And it's cool to stop. Pardon me.
I love those experiences. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah.
I was just going to Google it and see how far away I was to get there, but I love little places like that. So yeah, I'm about 5 hours and 29 minutes from Saskatchewan. So that might be next summer's adventure. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. No problem.
If there are no other questions, I'd just like to thank everybody for joining us. Our next session is not as much fun, but it's an important one. Incorporating your small business. That's on September the 24th. And then on October the 8th, Josie's back about e-newsletters and lead generation. So always something exciting. Our sessions are, a lot of them are recorded and are on the Sage Hill website, so that you can rewatch. So if you know, have some questions or want some of the things that Josie talked about, Facebook and that would be on some of the previous sessions. So feel free to check them out. Thanks, Josie. It was great as always. And thanks everybody for joining. Have a wonderful day and the rest of your week.
Thanks.
I'm going to stop recording.